At the beginning, we are going to pronounce the Arabic letters and give an example of each letter with a word in Arabic. Of course, I am going to keep the word written in the screen, but I'm not going to write the transcription for the Arabic word in English because of two things. Number one, I am already pronouncing the word, so you don't need transcription. Number two, the transcription in English cannot 100% give the main pronunciation of Arabic accurately. So it is not important and it is not that useful. So the best way is to listen carefully and imitate. Okay. First, we will take them in order and then divide them. But while we are taking the letters in order, you will see the letters in groups, as I said. The group, when it's green, it's exactly in English, which means you're not gonna make even a slight mistake. And the group in magenta or purple maybe somehow, it means that those two letters are in English, but you will find yourself amazed of how we a little bit change them. And then the groups in brown means I have similar sounds in English, but I need to tweak them to produce them in Arabic. And finally, you will find the red group, which means they are not in English, and also it means you don't have to be mad or sad when you cannot produce them at the beginning. Are you ready? I guess you are. Let's go on and repeat. Alif. Alif. As I said, I say maybe Alif Hamza. This is Alif with Hamza. The sound of this Alif with Hamza is This is the sound of it. Okay? You can find it like all the vowels starting a word in English, like like in, at, on, and so on. In Arabic, you have the word and the word ummah. Second letter, ba. The sound is b. And you can find it in the word bayt. The third letter with us today is ta. And it sounds t, the same as T in English. And you can find this letter in the word tamr. The letter fa, which sounds and you can find it in the word thawb, or the word thu'ban. Then we have the letter jim. The sound is j or j. Both are correct. And you can find it in the word jamal. And the word jundi. Then we have the letter ha. And this is one of the red groups, by the way. It means it is not in your language, so don't feel bad. And the sound is if you pronounced this letter a bit correct at the beginning, you will find this place hurts, by the way. And you can find it in the word hoot, or the word hayawan. Then you have the letter kha. And the sound of this letter is strange, I know, because this is the second letter of the letter which are not in English, by the way. And you can find it in the word khamr. Then you have the letter dal, which sounds d, D, D. And you can't find it in the word deen, deen. Then the letter ذال, ذال, which sounds ذ, ذ. And you can't find it in the word ذنب, ذنب. And take care of this word because it has one exception of the very few exceptions in Arabic. Okay, and we will explain this letter, but just take care of it. Because you will notice that noon here is not pronounced noon, it's pronounced meme. And the reason is gonna come later. Then we have the letter Ra, Ra, which is pronounced R, R. If you speak Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, this is gonna be easy for you. English, it's gonna be which is not correct. You have to roll your mouth. R, R, not ra, ra, ra. Okay? And you can find it in the word Rabb, Rabb. Then we have the letter Zay, Zay, which is pronounced Z, Z. And you can find it in the word Zubd, Zubd, or the word Zayt, Zayt. Then we have the letter Seen, Seen, which is pronounced S, S. And you can find it in the word Surah, Surah, or the plural Suwar, Suwar. Then we have the letter Sheen, Sheen, which is pronounced sh, sh. And you can find it in the word shar, shar, or the word shaitan, shaitan. Then we have the letter Sad, Sad, which is pronounced s, s. And you will find here the difference in this letter because unlike the one before, which is s, s, this is s, s. And this is the brown group letters, which we can derive from seen, s, and s, s. One is soft and one is powerful, okay? And you can find it in the word Sa'im, Sa'im, Salah, Salah, Siyam, Siyam. Then we have the letter Dad, Dad, and this needs a stop. Although I colored this letter in brown because you can derive this letter from the letter Dal, I don't like you to confuse or to mix or mistake between Dal and Dad. Okay. To produce Dal, it's like D in English. You don't have to tire yourself. But the brown colored letters, you have to know how you produce them in order to be able to produce them. From where the organs of speech of Dad is to bite your tongue or one side, right or left, or both of them together, and say da, not the tip. The tip is dal. No, da, no, that's not correct. But da, da. This is dad. And by the way, the Arabic language is the only language in the world that have this letter. Okay, that's why some people call Arabic the Dad language or the Lughat al-Dad. Some people call it that. Okay, and you can find this letter in the word ضيف, ضيف, ضحك, ضحك. Then we have the letter طاء, طاء, which is pronounced ta, ta. Now you can see the difference between this letter and ta, ta, the second letter. Difference is amazing. And by the way, all the brown group letters are just more powerful. This is the difference. The previous ones are soft, but this one is powerful and big, a little bit bigger and more powerful and hard to pronounce. Anyway, the sound is ta, ta. And you can find it in the word طبق, طبق. And the word طعام, طعام. Then we have the letter ضاء, ضاء, which is pronounced ض, ض. And you can see that you produce this letter by making your mouth like a bowl. Unlike the, which is already in English, you can get it with the tip of your mouth between your both sides of teeth, like this. The, no, this one is the. The whole of your mouth is bitten slightly between your teeth and then produced with your mouth like a cave. So it's the, not the. This is letter and that's another. And you can find this letter in the word ظل, ظل, and the word ظهر, ظهر, ظهر. Then we have the letter عين, عين. It is not in English. It is not in English. And it sounds it comes from the very back end of your mouth. The four letters, the hardest letters in Arabic, all of them comes from the velum of your mouth, the very, very back end of your mouth. That's why if you found your throat hurts while you are trying to produce these letters, good news is you are on the correct way. You are going well on producing them. It means you are about to produce them correctly. And this hurt will go by the time and it will not be that hard. And step by step you'll produce them and you will never find any sore in your throat. So it's hard at the beginning, I know. So, عين and pronounced and you can find it in the word عين. The sound of the word is the sound of the letter as it is. عين. Then we have the letter غ, غين, غين. It's from the same place of producing عين, but you touch with your velum. You touch, these back organs touch each other. That's why it becomes like غين. And it, for French people, it could be easy because they have this sound غ in French, but it's harder in Arabic. Okay, so if you could produce French, I guess it would be easier for you to produce غين. Okay, and the sound is غ, غ. And you can find this letter in the word غيث, غيث, and the word غيوم, غيوم. Then we have the letter فاء, فاء, like F in English, has no problem, this letter. And the sound is f, f. And you can find this letter in the word فلك, فلك. And then you have the letter قاف, قاف, which is pronounced ق. This is not K in English. It is a powerful way of Q, even not Q, but it's a powerful way. It comes from the very back end of your throat, okay? And you can find this in the word قلم, قلم, or the word قلب, قلب, okay? And very soon, the next letter, which is very similar, but you find in English, the letter كاف, كاف, which is pronounced the same like English, has no problem at all, unlike the one before. So, you can find it in the word كون, كون, or the word كتاب, كتاب, and it is the same in English. Okay, you don't have any problems producing it. Then you have the letter لام, لام, and as you can see, this letter is one of the purple or magenta color groups, which is in English but needs more power in producing it. So it is not la, no, it's la, normal one. Okay, it doesn't come from the back, no, it comes from the beginning of your mouth, okay, and your tongue. So the sound of this is la, not la in English, la. So you can find it in the word لبن, and the word لون. Then you have the letter meme, and the sound of this letter is m, exactly like M in English. And you can find this letter in the word مثقال, and the word ميزان. Then we have the letter noon, which sounds n, like N in English, which you can find in the word نحل, and the word نمل. Then we have هاء, which is quite similar to the letter H in English, which sounds although it's very similar to English, some English speakers cannot produce this ha. I don't know why actually, but it's very easy. It's not like ha, which is very hard. No, it's ha. And you can find this letter in the word hudhud, and the word haram. Then we have wow, which sounds w, the same like W in English. And you can find this letter in the words waqt, and the word warda. Finally, we have the letter ya, which sounds y, very similar to the sound Y in English. And you can find it in the word يوم. We have finished the Arabic letters with the sound and the groups of them. Okay? Finally, I'm gonna read these letters without saying anything, and then you have to repeat after me directly. Alif, باء, ب, تاء, ت, ثاء, ث, جيم, ج, حاء, ح, خاء, خ, دال, د, ذال, ذ, راء, ر, زاي, ز, سين, س, شين, ش, صاد, ص, ضاد, ض, طاء, ط, ظاء, ظ, عين, ع, غين, غ, فاء, ف, قاف, ق, كاف, ك, لام, ل, ميم, م, نون, ن, هاء, ه, واو, و, ياء, ي. We finished. Sorry, this video a little bit long, but it has to be, because after that everything is based on this video. I hope you repeat it over and over. Don't give too much consideration about the letters which are hard, which are not in English, because you will get them step by step. Time will teach you, and you just give very good attention to repeating the sounds without asking yourself why this letter is produced that way, because it is not your language and the answer is not going to be beneficial for you. Just repeat them as I told you. Until I see you another time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.